much more the second time. The second time I went to see the sing-along,
Right,
which was great, and had the words going over us, which is like,
I almost convinced the share to do that, but it was just
you
too
didn't
much.
want the distraction the second time. But when you rent it, it has the sing-along version available, and with a purchase or rent it, and then it also has like additional things. So I'm gonna probably rent it, so then I could just keep checking it.
I forgot to tell Denise to look for all the hidden characters, because that's part of the fun. I was like, I realized I watched it, I forgot to tell her.
And then also the hidden music, like there's little strains
Now you'll
of
know more than me. So actually,
yeah,
some of
you
it
hear it, you hear little strains of some of the rainbows, you hear little strains, different stuff. Ding Dong the Witch is Dead.
I was definitely thinking that. That was probably. So I'm glad you confirmed it.
Oops. Oh, let's start with our song.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy New Year. I was telling Joe the guard, I haven't seen him in a long time. It's been a whole year since I saw him. I told him those jokes, they just never get old. How many of you told those jokes as a kid, I'll see you next year. I'm glad. It's probably every generation. It's a common, fun language to do. Let's take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. We are moved past Hanukkah. We no longer have a menorah. I almost wore my Hanukkah tie again, and Ashira said, no, people are done with Hanukkah. So I didn't tell her, but I wore my Hanukkah socks. I figured that I could get away with that. Oh. Yeah. There we go. So we're going to bring up Bruce, the newest dog owner.
Dog dad.
Dog dad.
Oh my heavens! Tell us all
And
about
tell
it.
us a little bit about your new dog.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And Happy New Year. As I said last week, when you're Jewish, you get to wish each other Happy New Year twice. And this is nice, so we get to do that. First service of 2025. And we hope that this is going to be a really good year for everyone. If you had a cruddy year last year, this will be a better year. If you had a good year last year, this will be a better year too. So lots of good stuff coming up in the course of the year. As Rabbi mentioned, yeah, I started off the year with a pup. So she came to the house on Wednesday, and she stayed. And I know you'll find this hard to believe, but I ended up with a dog who is loud and opinionated and stubborn. Go figure. She's a mini Labradoodle, and she is the cutest thing.
Does she tell jokes?
She does knock knock, but with her tail. Anyway, her name is Marley, as in Bob Marley. Also, as in Marv Levy without the two V's. So, anyway, that's how I came up with the name. And this is a dog-loving kind. How many dog owners are in the room tonight? Well, quite a few. How many are going to become one soon? Yeah. Yeah, Walter and Diane have one on the way. It's always nice. Anyway, I'll be back later with the announcements. We have lots of stuff coming up. Where's Tom? And I'll be bringing, word of warning, I'll be bringing Tom up a little bit later to talk about why he's doing Life and Legacy, which is a really important thing. And when you look at Tom's family legacy with the temple, it really is significant.
We're now down to 3 minutes.
Well, there you go, your 5 minutes, I took 2 minutes of your 5 minutes. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone, and Happy New Year.
I want to know, is Marley to rhyme with Harley?
Yeah.
Now, Harley is Todd's dog, who's often comes by,
Harley.
and now we have Marley, so they rhyme. All right,
Like the musical thing, we have Arlene and Marlene.
that is so true. It's so much easier to remember when everything rhymes. All right, we're going to welcome in the Shabbat angels on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Halachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh, Baruch Hu.
Beautiful. So nice to have Marlene back. That's wonderful. Oh no, we're not quite ready yet.
He was acknowledging you
I was
and thanking
acknowledging
you.
it. I loved hearing
You
your
just-
playing. Keep going. We're gonna light the candles for Shabbat, page 120. Why don't we have the Lansings? We have Tom and Diane here. Would you like to come up to light in honor of the, Diane told me there's 3 yard sites, their fathers, and also a grandparent. And, yeah, so why don't you come up?
My
And
mother's
like-
sister who died young at 103.
Oh, right, her aunt, if you noticed in the paper, they did, this past week in the Buffalo News, they talked about notable deaths this past year, and one of the deaths was Ruth Lansing. So that was beautiful. Tom wrote to me and he said, "Did you notice?" Of course I noticed. It was beautiful. So glad to have her acknowledged that way.
Yes, it was, very much.
So we're going to light on page 120. Oh no, we gave you the trick candles. I'm so sorry.
No, there's the trick matches, the trick candles are still to come.
I'm going to see. This has been a common problem. We need to do a better job of this. Let's see. If not, we're going to...
You know, I have some boxes at home that light really easily, and it must have been exposed to moisture.
let's try it
So let's try it
Try
again.
it again. Let me try. Oh, there you go. This is like a comedy routine.
Worth waiting for.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Asher kishanu mitzvotav
v'tzivanu v'halik ner shel Shabbat.
Why don't you lift up the Kiddush cup there, page 123. Cantor is going to lead us in the Kiddush.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei b'ri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kosho v'avavu ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit hihu yom tefillah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziyah mi'Yisraelim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shavat kodeshecha v'yavavu v'ratzon hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. It's up to you if you want to drink
I've
it.
heard stories on all.
But Joanne, only Joanne knows what's in there. So yeah, see, he gave it to his sister first. That's true sibling love. We know who's the taste tester.
You've got us pegged.
So looking at Diane and Tom, I'm struck holding up the Kiddush cup, how there's the feeling of both sadness and joy. They all kind of go together. On one hand, they're lifting this joyous occasion, lifting Kiddush together, but also sad, thinking about their parents and all other relatives that have passed. And those kind of emotions are together. Recently, we had a Buffalo Corner reading series, and there was a poet that did mirror poems. So the beginning and the end kind of mirror each other. And I thought, well, I'll try it, because I wanted to kind of express exactly that emotion. It's called Keep in Mind. Every joy is laced with sadness. Every celebration has mourners lurking on the sides. I cannot help, I do not feel. No amount of confetti can release a heart from captivity. What you feel cannot be helped. Every funeral has celebrants lurking on. Let's keep that in mind as we go to L'chado D, which is on page 138. And we're going to sing the first, second, fifth, and ninth verse. On the ninth, we celebrate the Shabbat bride as she enters in, and we bow to her as she enters. And one of the things you'll notice is as she enters, the music often slows, which for me feels like, even though it's such a happy occasion, it's also a little bit of sadness. At the end of it, we'll greet each other with waves.
L'chado
remain standing for our call of community, page 146. Look around at our holy community. Each and every one of you is important to making our sacred community tonight. 146.
Everyone with me.
Page 149 on the bottom. Let's read together in the English. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us, shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Haravi. The Shema, page 152, 153.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Om Shemkevo, Malchuto, Leolam.
You may be seated. We turn to the V'ahavta, page 154.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavecha v'b'kol nafshecha v'b'kol me'otecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anoki b'tzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shiftecha b'beitecha ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך, וקשרת מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבת המזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Cantor, I have a question for you. You've lived in cold weather most of your life. Were you ever afraid of the cold?
You know what? I've heard you speak about that fear that you used to have. No, I used to be absolutely fearless about
Right,
it.
you told me. You used
I
to
would
run
just, like,
out, right?
go out, like, long distances, probably even without gloves on and stuff like that, and just go out and just, with not a care in the world. Now I think, oh, I got to three layers on and all that. I get chilled, but no.
Yeah, Bruce, you have no idea. I have to go out with 2 coats in the morning. This is a 2-coat day. Yeah, it's cold in the morning when you walk in your dog. So I was thinking about the way fears, the way they change over your life, and this is a poem in introduction to Micha Mocha, which is called Old Fears. I used to be afraid of the dark, holding on to my mother's fingers as she sang me a lullaby about rain. I used to be afraid of the cold, letting warm air puff out of my chest, my face chafed with worry. I used to be afraid of strangers, wondering who out there was waiting to steal my thoughts. Now I walk through the world unafraid of any of those things, the dark curling around me like my mother's hands once would around my fingers. Just think about those moments, the things that we overcome, things that we maybe don't even notice, and that's really what 158, our Micha Mocha, is about. So we'll turn to that crossing of the sea and that joyous moment of entering into an unexpected moment, crossing the sea.
Perfectly.
Wonderful. They're hired, right? We'll turn to another up song, Vishamru on page 162, and I think this is the melody you did a little while ago.
I've been doing it lately with Marlene. It's something I hadn't done in forever. Sal Zim was my teacher for 7 years or so.
You survived it.
And this is included in one of his first books of music, of compositions. It's a Vishamru, in case you're looking on the page.
At the very top.
Yeah.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat לעשות את השבת
Amida, our standing prayer pages 164 through 180. Take this opportunity for your own prayers of your heart, or the Hebrew or the English, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated. Page 180, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom
We're going to turn to our healing prayers now, page 371 in the middle.
And you don't have it in the leaflet, but you just repeat after me.
Oh, sorry, we're doing the different version, so not 371.
Oh, then let's do 371. I can do that a
Oh, it's up to
cappella if you like.
you. Whatever you arrange with Marlene's good. All right, we're going to do, you don't need to worry about the page.
You don't need to worry
It's
about
just
it.
a repetition.
Be with yourself.
So we're going to do a slightly different version, but a lot of you are familiar. We're going to read our list. I just want to say I've included my father-in-law, Yitzchak Nachman ben Ruth. He has to have triple bypass in 2 weeks, so if you just keep him in your prayers, hoping he comes through very well from it. We are also thinking about, as a community, Jeff Balsam, Seth Bruckheimer, Lily Bank, Hope Bongiorno, David Cohen, Laura Croak, Evan Dennis, Bob Philippone, Gloria Fine, Denise and Jared Gilden, Stephen Glick, Carolyn and Ernie Grosser, Dave Imowitz, Barbara Kane, Alex Katz, Ken Kellick, Remy Levine, Miles Levy, Gail Lewis, Shelby Madsen, Howard Lewis Myers, Angela Rabillard, Shell Rossi, Cindy Rotella, Paul Roy, Sarah Korn Rothschild, Brandon Ryan, Deb Serino, Carol Silverman, Lorenzo Stewart, Jerry Stovall, Susan Tobe, Enjo Tufts, Renata and Wolfgang Toll, Mary Weiss, Mike Wheeler, Laura Zeffel, Carla Bachana, Yosef Ben Zissel, Chana Ezra Ben Shul, Shmuel Ben Bulik. We'll go around, and if you have other names.
Linda Gross.
Michael Taffler, Rosina Lambros, Kathy Garner.
Marilyn George. Bakami Batsulami, Brenda Cohen, Shelley Cohen, and Batya Batfega.
Naomi has a friend at her workshop who needs an operation, but she can't remember her name.
Send some prayers out. So we'll bring all those prayers into our hearts, and again, just repeat after. It's a call and response.
Oh, and the chorus is, just repeat after me. Elna, Rifana,
Rafana,
La. Elna, Rifana, La. And we're going to turn it into Lanu, us, instead of her, us. God, please heal her, heal us, Lanu.
prayers go out to where they're needed, in this room and outside this room, wherever they're needed. All right, by show of hands, how many of you actually made it to midnight this year? I didn't actually want to make it to midnight, but we promised Noam, so we had to make it there. This time of year is always a little bit funny coming from a Jewish context. Because of course, the way that we celebrate New Year's in the Jewish world and the way that we celebrate it in the secular world is completely different. In the Jewish world, we do it here in our sanctuaries and religious spaces. We do it in the morning mostly. We gather together. There's no champagne. There's some wine. There's some apples and honey. But it's just a very different type of feel. It's really about a cleansing of our soul, and it's about kind of working hard to achieve that. We do have some of that with the resolutions, but it's just the whole context. And one of the ways you can tell it's different is how we greet one another. When we greet each other on New Year's, what do we say? Happy New Year. And what do we say in Hebrew? Shana Tova, a good year. Good and happy, Bruce, you were starting to get into this a little bit. Good and happy are actually not the same thing. Good, which that's what really Bruce was kind of blessing us with. A good year is a year, maybe health and happiness. Health is connected to it. Success, I don't know. But happiness is something that's independent. That's an emotion. And it's going to hit everyone different. Kind of like what I was saying in the poem, too, is that all of us, no matter what's happening, we're experiencing life very differently. So I actually looked up on AI, what is a happy year? Because I don't know, what is a happy year? This is what AI told me. A happy year is typically characterized by a strong focus on positive experiences like nurturing meaningful relationships with family and friends, engaging in fulfilling activities that align with personal interests, maintaining good health and well-being, and actively practicing gratitude for little things in life, essentially prioritizing quality connections and personal fulfillment over material possessions or external achievements. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, AI, they hit the mark. I'm like, I should have looked this up years ago. There is kind of that sense that happiness is really about kind of the quiet moments and kind of really focusing. I love how it says focusing on gratitude. But you know, that sense of when we say to each other, Happy New Year, I always feel like it's a little intimidating. Have a Happy New Year. You know, should we put a question mark? Are you going to have a Happy New Year? Should we kind of pause? Is it an exclamation mark? What are we saying? What are we thinking? This connects to this week's Torah portion, because this is kind of the culmination of Jacob's story, Joseph's story. We're nearing the end of Genesis, so we're moving from one phase to another. We have one more week of it. We're in Vayigash, which is the second to last portion. And there's one moment that just always stands out to me in this portion. It always breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart because I feel the sadness that's just kind of seeping through in a very happy occasion. It's an occasion that should be filled with joy. This is, you know, the end of Star Wars, where they're having the celebrations at the end. This is a truly happy moment. Everyone, all the things that we were waiting for, we finally have. The brothers finally reunite. Jacob and Joseph are reunited. They learned about each other's life. But in this moment, Jacob's reflection on it is a little different. So he goes in front of, he asked to actually go from Beersheba, from Israel, Canaan, into Egypt. And he's brought in front of Pharaoh. And this is a very proud moment. His son has reached the viceroy, the second most important position in all of Egypt. Could a Jewish father be any more happy? You know, is there any happier moment than this? But that is not how it sounds in the text. So this is in Genesis 47, verses 7 to 9. So it says, Joseph then brought his father Jacob and presented him to Pharaoh. And Jacob greeted Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked Jacob, how are the years of your life? Kind of a simple question. How are you doing, basically? But this is how Jacob answers, and this is the part that just breaks my heart. He says, the years of my sojourn on earth are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life, nor do they come up to the lifespans of my ancestors during their sojourns. Here, he's in the happiest moment of his life. Everything has come together for Jacob. He's reunited. He has all this happiness and joy. And what does he feel? I never lived up to my parents and grandparents. I never lived up to who I'm not going to live as long as them, and my life is not as fulfilling. Doesn't that break your heart? Every time I hear this, because I feel like Jacob's story is the story that's best represented in, other than Moses, Jacob is the one we spend the most time with. And despite all the wonders of that story, he steals the birthright and the blessing, and he falls in love. It's really one of the main moments. He finds his beloved Rachel. He falls in love with her. He has all these children, all these things that you want. His son reaches the second highest position in Egypt. And the only way that he can reflect on his life is how miserable it's been. And it just strikes me, when I was thinking about this in the context of when we wish Happy New Year, that not everyone is necessarily in that same space. That midnight, I stayed up. I watched on Times Square, everyone kissing, everyone happy, but I realized that everyone's in different places. So I wanted to know, why are some people like Jacob and other people that can enjoy happiness? What is it? And so, of course, I looked on the internet. And there was an article in the Washington Post in their wellness section from 2020. If you remember, in 2020, actually, I think it was New Year's this is August of 2020. So we can remember back to how horrible that time is. And the person was reflecting back to saying Happy New Year. How could I have said Happy New Year knowing what was going to happen? So he talks, Galadriel Watson is the author. He talks about what it is about optimism. And he presents a question. This is how you know whether you're optimistic or pessimistic. Okay? Pick one of these. Number one, I expect more good things to happen than bad things. Number two, I rarely count on good things to happen to me. Raise your hand if you fall more into the first category. I expect more good things to happen than bad things. And you don't have to. It's completely optional. Raise your hand if you fall into the other. I rarely count on good things to happen to me. Okay, it's happened. There's a reason. Pessimism's not all bad, by the way. We kind of need it. It holds us back a little bit. But they actually did studies. They did a study of 500 twins. And half were reared together and half adopted apart early in life. So this is one of these crazy scientific studies, which how could they probably could never get away with that today. And they found that optimism is about 25% inherited. So one reason for optimism is it's just part of you. I always think that I was lucky, I had a good constitution as a baby and continue, and that's one of the greatest gifts, and I don't discount that. Having a good constitution and feeling happy is not something guaranteed at all. Another important factor is age. And what that means is it changes over the course of the life. They looked at 75,000 people and found that optimism generally increases throughout younger adulthood, flattens out between 55 and 70, and then decreases again after that. And the interesting thing about that is that curve, so it's starting off very optimistic young, And then it goes flat, and then it decreases. That's actually the opposite of the happiness curve. The happiness curve, you start off less happy, you flatten out, and then you go up, not down. It says after 70, you actually get happier. What the author points out is that actually that optimism is what gives you the drive to do crazy things. When you're young, of course, you need a lot of optimism. Who goes out into the world? Who gets married or finds a job or does all these kind of things without a bit of optimism? You have to have optimism. So that was really interesting. They also, of course, there's situational, but situational is not actually a major factor. You know this from Holocaust survivors. Some Holocaust survivors were happy the rest of their life. Some were not. And it wasn't because the Holocaust probably changed people, but it's also the constitution that they had. I do remember when I worked in a nursing home when I first started in rabbinical school. And I was amazed, people facing the exact same situation, some with really bad ailments, and they would be very optimistic, and some that were walking around and doing great, terribly pessimistic and feeling terrible about themselves. And it was not a factor of actually their health condition. So the article said that actually optimism does help. It reduces risk of experience of cardiovascular disease, less likely to have strokes, and the reason is people tend to engage in healthier behaviors. Now, this is not across the board. We need a kind of a balance between it. But in thinking back at Jacob's story and just kind of the message, I looked at some of the commentary connected to it. And this is something they struggle with because the rabbis, they're also in pain. Why is he saying this? First of all, he doesn't know how long he's going to live. And so one of the commentaries that was really interesting from Radak, David Kimke, who's from Provence, he's in the Middle Ages, he says that how did Jacob know that his years would be so few? He assumed that due to the troubles he had already experienced and the effect on his general well-being, he could not look forward to living to the same age as his parents. Now, he was 130 years old. His parents lived 175 and 180 years, so it's hard to imagine. Sforno, who's an Italian commentator, says he had enough troubles, this was interesting, to hasten his old age and death, because this was really interesting. Years during which a person is beset with major problems don't even count as years of your life. When you're having terrible times, you don't even count that as years of your life. It's almost as if he didn't live to 130. Rashi adds, all the reason why he's so miserable is he's always lived in other people's lands. He's like Moses, like most of the characters in the Torah, he never really found his way to his own homeland, and that's the reason. But I actually liked in the women's commentary on the Torah, they had a really nice suggestion here that Jacob is actually responding to Pharaoh, because this is a very important moment. He's going in front of Pharaoh, and a lot is at stake. How the future of his family in Egypt is dependent on their answers. Where they're going to live, how they're going to... So Jacob actually is trying to mirror what Pharaoh is feeling. So that he's not necessarily feeling this way. I love this. He focuses on the sorrow in his life and acknowledges that his age does not compare to the longevity of his ancestors. Pharaoh's request for personal information about Jacob establishes a bond between the two men because they have these things in common. And Joseph has been, and that they both have Joseph in common as well. So very interesting. You never can tell exactly the context as we struggle with it. So I just want to close with a quote, actually. My good friend Ezra Rich wrote in the Federation newsletter today, and he quoted Viktor Frankl. I told him I would use that quote because I loved it. He said, Viktor Frankl, during the Holocaust, afterwards, he said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. So I don't know if it's a choice or not, but we have some measure of choice to the circumstances in life. May we never be as miserable as Jacob, despite his wonder of his life, and may we find a way to both a happy year and a good year. May it be so. Thank you. Okay, we are going to turn to Aleinu. We're ready for it. Page 586. I invite you to rise. It's not enough for us to sit here and pray. We need to go out and do great things in this world. And Naomi, would you do us the honors? Do you sit over there so you're closer to get up here? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were right, because a lot of...
She wanted to sit with me.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I didn't know, because also you're the only ones in the camera, so you made it look like it's a little bit more full. Page 586, let's open our ark.
I know it always looks like the whole room is empty
Yeah.
because we have to get everyone to start sitting over there so we can
You don't want to
communicate
sit near the camera.
with the people online. Aleinu l'shaber l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויים הרצון, ולא שמענו במשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו בהם, וקום עלינו ככל המונם, אנחנו פורים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated. We're going to move to our Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. I know we have a number of people here observing yard sites. We already heard about the Lansings. And we also have the Organic family in the back who are remembering the 1-year anniversary of the mom, Barbara. And they remember, I can't believe it's been a year, I told them. It's wonderful to come together to do these ancient rituals and really honor our loved ones. On our recent passings, we're remembering, in addition to the 14 people who were killed in New Orleans on 3 a.m. and New Year's, we think about their families. We are remembering as a community Reverend Jim Callahan, Don Gilden, Marcia Jacobs, David Selkowitz, Marcia Tepper, Sandra Wisbaum, and Joseph Zakheim, all who died in the last month. On our yard-side list from years past, we remember Sylvia Ash, Jerome Bloomberg, Anna Bress, Sherwood Brown, Max Tillman Cohen, Nathan Cohen, Gilbert Corris, Ronald Feugelman, Anita Foster, Mary Frank, Dolores Frawley, Rosalind Gaben, Eva H. Gale, Daniel Gelman, Bernarda Glickman, Paul Gold, Fanny Gordon, Max Gross, Ida Haas, Jacob Herr, David H. Hirsch, Mary Kempner, Sidney Zion Kleiman, Joseph Krasner, Ben Crone, Sophie Lattis, Eric Lansing, Margaret Lansing, Carol Pickard Lewin, Lucy Marks, June Mindell, Matilda Nosnitsky, Gerald Olbert, Barbara Organic, Rosalind Posterman, Rose Kaiser Rubin, Adolfo Shire, Ruth Sadie, Elliot Shapiro, Donald M. Silverberg, Ann Slonim, Anna Steinberg, Martin A. Tufts, Abraham Saul Weinstein, Louis Weinstein, Isidore Weiss, Dina Yud, and Isaac Zisman. I just want to say, we read Max Tillman Cohen. He's someone who died, he was very young, he was in his 20s, early 20s, I think, and we do it, they weren't part of our community, but we read his name as just a reminder. I see his mom around on occasion, and just what a terrible loss, and just always, I'm glad and honored that we could read his name, actually. We'll go around, and if you have other names you'd like to say.
Carrie Townsend.
I'll say Jimmy Carter also. Those whose custom it is to rise, page 598, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yid Kadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma divrach cherutei, v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayachon, v'yamachon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman karib, v'yimuru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, v'orach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah b'rechu le'elam in kol berchata v'shirata tush berchata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'yimuru amen. Yehei shlamar abamim shemaya chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimuru amen. Oseh shalom v'yimramav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol Yishvei Tevel v'yimramein. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And we say, Amen. You may be seated. Zikranam livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. I'd like to invite up Bruce Chorus again to offer our announcements.
Shabbat Shalom again. And I'm going to say Happy New Year. However you define your happiness as we enter this year. I hope everyone does have a Happy New Year, and I hope everyone has a good New Year. And Julia, thank you for making our sanctuary look. You know what we need to do? What we did during COVID when we put pictures on all the seats of all the people where they usually sat. We could get cutouts. We'll get cardboard cutouts of everyone, and we'll fill that whole section. So I hope everyone enjoyed our first service of the new year. Thank you to Sherry Jo Reich and Mark Nightinger for serving as service greeters this evening. And thank you, of course, to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, and Marlene Harrington for a lovely service to kick the year off. Tomorrow morning, Torah study is at 9 a.m. It is at Temple Beth Tzedek, also via their Zoom, and the Shabbat morning service is at 11 a.m. It is at Canterbury Woods tomorrow. The community religious school is off on Sunday. The kids are still out carousing for winter break. They will be back on January 12th. The office is open again. So Joanne is done with her carousing. She's back at work. So if you need her for anything, the office is now open again. We want to thank everyone who attended the Women of Shir Shalom Hanukkah party and game night. I hear it was a really fun evening. I've had very few complaints about Julia cheating when she was dealing poker. So apparently it was quite a successful evening. Next Friday night, we'll be having our regular Erev Shabbat service. And of course, an Onig Shabbat and Chai Club drawing. Tonight, Joanne will wait and come up after Tom talks for a few minutes to do tonight's Chai Club drawing. We will be having later this month, we're bringing back family service, which is nice. That'll be on Friday, January 24th. It will start at 6:30 p.m. Note the earlier time, followed by an Onig at 7:30. It's nice to bring back family service and have the little munchkins running around, and we get an energy level that is really quite nice. It is not too early to think about Purim. It is coming up on March 13th. We will be having our Purim spiel, Wicked, Defying Gravity Together. The casting has started, but there are still spots available. Talk to, if you're interested, if you're here tonight, talk to Mark afterward, or the cantor, but not me. Don't talk to me about that, because I'll just give you my part, and then I'm done with it. But anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. And we are looking seriously for munchkins. So, so if you've got some kids or grandkids that want to be part of it, we are definitely looking for munchkins. If you need anything at all as we begin this new year, please feel free to reach out to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, Todd, or myself, or Joanne occasionally. You can call Joanne anytime. She doesn't mind. Anyway, we are all here for you. Joanne, of course, will be coming up to do the Chai Club drawing shortly. But first, let's have Tom Lansing come up for a couple minutes. Tom has taken over as chair of our Life and Legacy Committee. And no, he's not here to ask you for money. That's not the purpose of this. It is the purpose of trying to build our foundation for our future. And it's really appropriate that Tom was able to take this over because the Lansing Family Foundation is incredibly strong. And I'll let him talk a little bit more about that.
Now we're down to 2 minutes then, because you've said
And-
everything. You've said everything.
But I didn't
for-
tell any jokes tonight, so you can top me.
Oh, well then there's the first joke. Shabbat Shalom, first of all. Happy New Year, and congratulations to all those who raised their hand for being optimists. I raised my hand as a pessimist. I'm a lifelong Buffalo Bills fan. And even worse, I'm a Buffalo Sabres season ticket holder. So, first, I always know it's a new year in the Lansing family because we do what we call our triple yard site. Today was the day my Aunt Lucy passed away. Tomorrow would be the anniversary of my grandmother. And on the 7th is the anniversary of my father, Eric Lansing. My father was a founder of Temple Beth Am. So again, this building, this congregation is very near to us. In addition, personally speaking, I spent a lot of my Jewish social life at Temple Sinai. So the two temples that really have always meant the most in my life has been Temple Beth Am and Temple Sinai. I was a Boy Scout at Temple Sinai and in B'nai B'rith Youth Organization. Most of the events occurred at Sinai because they had the facilities. What I think of tonight particularly is almost 70 years after a bunch of people gathered at area churches, at area, well, I don't know what areas, I was very young, but I do remember, they formed the suburban congregation of Buffalo, New York? Reformed, yes, thank you. And what I appreciate so much is 70 years later, I can be here. And I can talk, and I see a temple family. And our survival really depends upon our members. And I'm not asking for money, but yes, but I'm suggesting giving, and giving on life and legacy is important to the future of the temple. What life and legacy is that members can put into their wills, can put into their, possibly into their IRAs, leaving money, a bequest to the temple for future generations so that they too know that there will be a place for them to come to. What also has not been mentioned is that we are also trying to earn for today a $7,500 grant if we can meet our goals. So we're talking about today, tomorrow, our children's futures, and our futures. And what Life and Legacy consists of, there's 2 steps. There is a letter of intent, which is saying that you plan on giving, leaving something upon your death. And then there's a letter of commitment where it is a signed and delivered instrument. So what I ask of is to just think over the importance of the temple in your life. Think of maybe if you would like to be remembered, to know that your family, your offspring, know there's somewhere that they can be years later after you've passed. If you've signed a letter of intent, we would love to turn that into a letter of commitment. If you have not and are thinking of it, we would love to see you. And again, there's no hard pressure, there's no hard sell. It's something that we just feel is important to the future of Judaism in the Buffalo community. So again, Shabbat Shalom and a Happy New Year.
All right, Tom, you got to do the draw. You're going to
I
Tom,
get
since
to do.
Yeah, Tom, you get the lucky, you don't have to read the names if you don't want.
Okay.
We're gonna need a drum roll. So remember, there's 3 categories, 18, 36, and 54.
Got one.
Nothing up your sleeve.
I have my name up my sleeve now.
All right, for the very first one, for $18, single high,
It is Glickman.
the
Seller, Glickman. Name, Glickman. Yeah, I guess
Okay,
that'd
I
be
guess
Joe.
it's Joe. Okay, Joe, congratulations, you won $18.
Sharon Kramer.
Oh, Sharon Kramer, wonderful. We'll see her tomorrow. So she won $36. Harvey, well, our group, our Saturday morning group's done very well.
And finally, Zella Glickman.
Zella, wonderful.
It's a Glickman night.
Yeah.
Sold by Zella Glickman.
Wonderful. Thank you, Zella.
Thank you, everyone,
I'll have
for
to tell her.
participating.
She'll be very happy. All right, we are going to our final hymn, page 625, Ein Kelohenu. And afterwards, we will be having our champagne toast.
Oh, that's right. And it's a good vintage.
So this is something I came upon. Yeah, just tell me how you feel about it. It's Hasidic, and I've never sung it before. And I'm looking for new material from Marlene, you know, so that it's just specific to her. And try it out. It's repetitive, yet it changes up a little bit. It's something that grows on you. Once you hear it, you find yourself kind of singing it, like, you know, in the hallways and things like that. So this is Hasidic Ein Kelohenu.
26.
Oh,
626.
Sorry about that, yeah, not.
Did I
not
write?
a-
Did I
no,
reverse
no,
the numbers?
I think I did. Oh, you did, yeah.
So easy to do. Ein Kelohenu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemokenu, ein Kamoshienu, vi Kelohenu, vi Kadonenu, vi Kemokenu, vi Kamoshienu, no Elohenu, no no Makenu, no Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Makenu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Makenu, Atahu Moshienu, Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemakenu, Ein Kamoshienu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. As you came in peace, please leave in peace. Please return your sidurim, your prayer books to the front, minus the leaflet. Shabbat shalom and
Shabbat shalom.
Happy New Year.